5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
So I'm like ridiculously hyped right now because it's finally here. The moment has come, and I'm like a proud papa right now, because my PS5 has now been blessed with the unveiling of the WWE 2K24. I think I get more hyped about this than any other game than I play these days. You know, I skip Madden. I don't play Madden every year. I don't play the 2K NBA 2K series, and this is probably the one consistent franchise that I tie into every year. All right. I'm gonna admit, I did go and buy 2K20. I did. I was one of those. Come on, Jarren. Did you not get it?
Oh no, I got it, but you know, it was also my job. You bought it willingly.
No, let's just say, but I did get the, you know, I had the, well, it was with Edge, right? It had the whole Edge year. What was it? I think it was that one, and it came with like the apron or the piece of his fucking jacket, whatever. I knew it had something because I always get the deluxe shit.
I get what you mean, yeah.
And woof. That, by the way, did you play that as a tester? That was your first one?
No, I didn't start testing until 23 actually. I was mixed in with 2K like around when 22 came out, but because I think the pandemic was still like kind of like still there, we weren't able to like go to like an event or anything like that. But 23 was the one for me. You know, I didn't get the test 20.
So wait a minute. So what do you mean you didn't buy 20?
No, I bought. I actually had to buy it twice. I bought it for the Xbox, and then I'll never forget. This is a true story. When I got my PS5, it was like, you know, November 2020, so the game had been out for a little while already. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me get the game for my PlayStation 5, so I can play it with, like, you know, that with viewers that have PlayStation. And I paid $60 for the regular version of the game because I'm not going to spend too much money on the deluxe thing. The deluxe was on sale, and I didn't realize it was on sale for $30. So I paid twice as much money for less game. I'll never forget. I'll never forget that.
Shit.
Oh yeah, for 2K20, for 2K20 of all games.
I was gonna actually post on the socials. I was gonna post the 2K20 because I have it like still in the box, like pristine. I think I maybe played it twice, if anything. And I was gonna post it. I was gonna say,
box?
I still have it in the box. Matter of fact, I should show it right now while you guys chat. It was pristine, and played it, put it back. I was like, not touching this shit anymore. I was gonna show it on the socials. Go, got my 2K. Oh, I hope it's as good as everybody says it is. I'm like, yeah, about that. No. So go ahead, Mike. So I can run and get it quick. You had told me that you're ready to go run out and get, well, not run out and get it, but ready to download your digitals now, right?
Yeah, I was telling you I'm getting it last minute. I'm ordering it tomorrow because on Friday it comes out. So I'm purchasing tomorrow. But yeah, so Jarren, you have early access to the game. So we're here to talk about, of course, WWE 2K24. We're here with Small Afro Games.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let's get straight to it. Quick thoughts overall, because we're gonna go into everything. We're gonna talk about the DLC packs that could be released over the next couple of months. Maybe get into some controversy because there's a lot of people already complaining about the game already, with certain people kicked out for obvious reasons. But we'll get into that. But overall, Jarren, what do you think?
You know, honestly, what I like is what they've done.
There's the box.
Oh wow!
Yep.
Wow.
That's I was gonna interject because that's the one with the with the Rock $500 shirt character.
That's right. Wow. Yeah. No. I'm sad that it's not a a better game because you probably be able to sell it for more money.
Yeah,
You
wouldn't
gotta,
wouldn't it be amazing? Like this would be something that you could actually like sell for, X
honestly,
amount of
maybe in the
dollars and
future, considering how bad it was, it might end up being some kind of cult classic. And maybe if you have a pristine version, you never know. The weirdest things
definitely.
become valuable
shit.
as
A
time
cult
goes
classic.
on. Absolutely, you know what I mean. But 2K24, I'm having honestly a lot of fun with it, and I feel like I've had that mentality every year, but this year's been a little different just because I feel like a lot of the stuff that people have asked for were finally kind of recognized, acknowledged, and answered a little bit, like the special guest referee thing and everything like that. I'm really enjoying the My Rise story. I'm maybe like halfway through it. And the showcase, for what it's worth, I mean, it's kind of the same thing every year, but it's fun. The WrestleMania thing, it's fun to relive all those WrestleMania and get the new arenas and stuff like that. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I think this is probably the most into a 2K game I've been since like maybe 19. Just because there's still a lot of stuff I haven't done yet that I'm still waiting to get. Like I'm incentivized to play my faction this year because you can unlock people to actually play within the regular game through that mode. I've never even touched my faction a day in my life, but now I probably will. So
I said the same thing. This is gonna probably be the most intense that I've been with a 2K game since, like you said, maybe 19 and even early on. That I really want to get into the intricacies of all the modes and such. The My Faction is definitely now on my radar to get into. The showcase. I like to go through each one bit by bit because, like I mentioned earlier, I'm waiting for creations to come out so I can start setting up my universe. They already have people who already said that my universe is still stuck on the same ways. You have to reset it, you have to reprogram it, clear everything out. There's videos on YouTube that show you to make it like the my universe that will actually work properly. So I'm actually excited to do that. But that's a task for me that I take like seriously. So it takes me like months to get there for that. So
sure.
but when the embargo was lifted and you was able to discuss and get more into it, when was it that you were able to actually get your whole hands on the full game?
The full game, oh man, it was February, like I want to say 2-3 weeks ago. It was the SmackDown where The Rock came back for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, it was that same day. I was able to play the full game there. I was pretty positive about it then. I was surprised on how like much more, because when the last time we spoke, I had played a very limited build of it, and I was like, okay, well, I mean, it's cool, but let me play the full build still. Full build surprised me because there was still a lot of stuff that I had not previously seen, like certain characters that are in the game, the way the modes work, like the special guest referee match, stuff like that. Yeah, it's been cool so far.
Was there any noticeable differences when you played the full game compared to the demo?
Well, yeah, because I mean, in the demo, we had like 20 people that we were able to like play with. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it was like, okay, at some point, it just kind of gets to be the same thing over and over again, especially because it was a one-on-one match, like a 10-man rumble and an ambulance match. That was the only 3 things we could play for the entire thing. So it was kind of like, I got bored after a while. I mean, I'm sure probably everybody did in that room, but there are so much you can do now. Like, I mean, adding the casket match, the special guest referee thing. And the AI, let me say something about the AI. The legend difficulty is genuinely very difficult. I don't think I've ever really had like a rough time over the years with legend difficulty. This year, I want to rip my hair out sometimes. So that's one of the biggest things for me, the AI being smart. So like legend difficulty should be hard. You know what I mean? Like no matter how good you are, you should have a difficult time playing it. And I do, so which is good. It's a good thing.
I first of all, I was telling Mike before we went on, like it was such a pain in the ass for me to get the full the full hard copy of it because GameStop was giving me some bullshit. GameStop it used to be so reliable to me. What the fuck happened to you people?
Shout out to you who still go to GameStop and pick up the physical copies.
Yeah, that's nuts. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, like you know what it is, because I'm a collector, and like in case you haven't noticed, but like I'm a collector, and I used to be those
Jarren,
guys.
look at his background.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
But
what do I have? I have my little gimmick shirt.
Hey, dude, hell yeah, brother, hell yeah.
But I also like to, especially when it comes to certain games and certain franchises, I like to keep them close, and like I say, this is my stack here, and like I said, I even have my 2K games for my 360 they're still around.
Jesus.
But you know, like I said, my love-hate relationship with games. So finally I got to start getting into the game. Like right now, I'm getting into the PC mode, the you know, performance center mode, because you know, you get an achievement for it anyway, but you still want to get a feel for it. And the first thing that I was recognizing and looking at was the look of the game itself, the graphics, the colors. I thought when you look at certain, well, a lot of the wrestlers that's there, it's gotten such a vast improvement. Like you saw that a lot of the wrestlers are more detailed. There's more intricacies with with their gear. You could see a lot of better movement with them, and inside outside the ring. There's a lot that's going on there on the surface to where they just did like it wasn't just a brush, you know, an airbrush. They actually went in and they looked and did some work on it.
Yeah.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, facial expressions have always been kind of a big thing for, I mean, especially a game like this where you have to show pain, you know, or show excitement or something like that. That was a big thing I feel like I've noticed. I'm glad you brought that up, 'cause I didn't even think about that. Like even like to go like the Fiend's match, like it has facial expressions. Like it's great, like it's crazy to see. I didn't even think about that when you mentioned it, but that's absolutely something that they worked on. And it's cool to see. It's very cool.
The other things that I wanted you to like go into a little bit was they didn't shy away too much with the controls, but there is more of a mechanic with the controls that feel a little bit more of a simulation kind than rather just a pick up an arcade game. Is there anything that you saw and felt that was different about the game?
Well, I mean, just like the new additions, like the trading blows thing. I don't know if you've experienced that yet, where it's like how chain wrestling used to be, but instead it's like kind of like one guy punches, you know, somebody, then it's kind of back and forth, like
Right.
like the Yabu
Love it.
spot. That's cool. You know what I mean? And I just feel like it's smoother. Like the animations are like they go into each other better. You know what I mean? Like you'll see in previous installments, somebody would go for a move and you try to like, you know, you get out of the way and try to hit him with something and it'll just like do nothing, or you'll go right through him or something like that. I think this year it's more like anything could happen. It's less predictable. Like you can do something at a random time and like something will happen. You know what I mean? You get what I'm trying to say? Like
Yeah.
it's just it's smooth. It's smooth. I've noticed that a lot. With a lot of the animations, it just seems like, because what I've noticed that they've done since the new build for 2K22 is like they just built on it. They've kept that and they just added more and more stuff to it. And I think this year was a big deal because it hasn't felt like this in a while. And again, it's weird because you don't know exactly, like you can't put your tongue on exactly what it is, but it's smooth. It's very smooth.
Yeah, with all the accoutrements that they've added to the game, like one of the biggest things that I saw that actually like tickled my fancy was, you know, when you throw a wrestler to the ropes from your knees. I was like, that's fucking cool. I was like, that is actually fucking cool.
No, that's very cool.
I wanted to get your thoughts as well as well. We spoke earlier about the modes. You know, we spoke about, you know, showcase. You know how, you know, the My Rise, which the My Rise, from what you've been playing so far, better than last year, more investing that you can be with your character now.
The only complaint I really have about the men's story, I haven't tapped into the women's story yet, but the men's story, you kind of know where it's going. Like, you know what your last match pretty much is going to be, and you know at what point in your character story that's going to happen at. But that predictability isn't necessarily a bad thing for anything. But it's just kind of like how you get there, and if it's, you know, good on the way there. That goes for anything, games, wrestling itself, you know, stuff like that. But the actual things that you're doing in between, it's fun because it's not just like I feel like a lot of the other My Rises have been you get in a match and then you get in another match and then you just do another match. Now it's like actual cutscenes and stories, and you're progressing your, you know, character development. And I feel like you haven't seen that too much before. It's kind of just been, okay, well, this is a guy and he's doing this and the game's over. Now it's like, okay, well, you're building yourself up from this moment to this moment, and all this stuff happens in between. Different match types, they incorporate some of the new stuff in there, and they add, you know, just a bunch of other stipulations other than just normal one-on-ones and tag matches, which gets boring very quickly. So I'm having fun with it so far. I'm waiting. I'm like, again, I'm like halfway through now. And I'm pretty sure I know how it's gonna end, but that's
You,
not a bad thing.
you don't miss the lock, Mike. Are you gonna miss the lock?
Not really, but I will say this about the Myrai stuff, because I did watch a lot of the female stuff. I will say the female story is much more interesting than the men's, because when the men's one was revealed, it's like basically for all of us Cody fans, this is just triggering all of us because God only help us what happens at WrestleMania. But yeah, the men's one just feels too predictable. But at least with the women's ones, the women one, that one looks so like crazy, unpredictable, and a lot of really video game ass shit that's gonna happen without going into spoilers. And like I said, like I agree with you, Jared, about the men, because you know where it's going at the end. You know who the final boss is. At least for the women, it's too unpredictable. I will also add for the gameplay, where prior to 22, when the complete game engine was with like the 3 reversals and all, like storing up 3 finishes, that type. When they changed it all, I was very skeptical, but not for nothing. The last 3 years, it's probably been the most fun I've had playing the WWE games dating back to like the SVR days.
Sure. No, I get that. And it looks good. It looks good now too, especially. I mean, just having fun with it and also the graphics being insane, especially after having 2K20. It's been a breath of fresh air lately for sure. And going back to your Myrise point, last year I thought the women's was better than the men's. Last year. I don't know if it's that way this year. Again, I haven't even really seen anything from it. So I mean, time will tell.
From what I've seen, it looks like it's a repeat of, again, this year with the women's being better than the men's.
I think it's the same person that does the women's Myrai stories. And I mean, listen, if she had a banger last year, I don't see why it'd be any different this year. So,
and I appreciate too that they bring back the old characters too. Like they keep bringing back Cole Quinn back from like 2K19.
Sure. They do a couple callbacks to last year's story too. At least what I saw in the men's one. You see a couple people from last year's story. But yeah, no, it's cool that they.
You don't see anybody from 20. They really try to ignore that one.
Yeah, I myself try to ignore that one. So
another mode that I was trying to dance around with and play with a little bit last year, but I really couldn't get into it so much, which is my GM. And this year now they've opened it up a little bit more, and I'm interested in what they have going on there, especially now with the addition of ECW, and there's more potential match types and such in there. Mike, what we heard on the spectrum about what's going on there?
Well, for my GM, the big thing this year is that now you can do trades, and I like how they did it too, where they give you like 5 attempts at trades, or at least that's how I'm interpreting it, where you try and make a trade, but if you get like it doesn't like automatically accept it. It's the like Janet was mentioning about the AI. Depending on the AI, it's going to be very like difficult to do trades unless you're playing with like friends or anything like that, as far as I could tell. And then with the GMs, a lot more options too. Like Heyman's an option. The Ted DiBiase, William Regal's back in as an option. Teddy Long is as an option. It's all fun. It's all just a great mode, honestly. That they brought that back.
I love
because that was the one thing in the SVR ones when you did season mode and you draft your own rosters. Now it's fun. Now this year you can do Raw, SmackDown, WCW, and ECW. I will say for ECW, it's very funny that like last year they did make a custom women's belt, but like in ECW they didn't have a women's division. So if you do ECW, you will have that handicap of not being able to book women's matches, or at least do women's championship matches. That's what I think, at least, or I've seen.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Jared, are you going to be getting into GM this year?
So I played it like once last year. I was really into it in 2K22. I think just the only thing that stopped me from doing it in 23 was just kind of like the same thing. You know what I mean? Like it was more or less the same thing they added. You could do it with 4 people now rather than 2, whatever. I'm waiting for it to get to online because it's cool to play against a computer, but it's going to be really cool to play against somebody else. And mind you can do that like with somebody, you know, in real life, but I mean, it's so much easier to just link up with somebody online and get that done. You know what I mean? So I feel I'm not a game developer. I don't know how hard it would be to do something like that, but I hope that we see that soon because I feel like that was something that was promised as well not that long ago. I feel like that's something that they were talking about. and it never happened. So I mean,
Since you-
in what aspect are you saying?
sorry, man.
what do you like online from IGN?
Oh, okay, that's what.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna, Jerry. I always wanted to, I've always seen that with, like the NBA and the NBA 2K servers, for pretty much they are on the level. Like I don't hear a lot of gamers have any issues with it. Have you heard what's the big reason why WWE's 2K servers don't really run that well? Is it because is it more massive? Is it there's more to it when it comes specs wise? Like, is there any reason why they've always have issues with their servers?
So I specifically asked about this recently because I mean I'm the online guy. I'm the one that I play online all the time. And it happened almost every match last year. It was very hard to get a video out just because of how many times the game crashed. This year I was like, hey, listen, because when you test the game, like I can't play online because who am I going to play against? You know what I mean? Like there's nobody there. So I asked, I was like, listen, like last year they had a lot of crashing, and the answer that I got, whether or not you want to accept it or not, the answer I got was that whenever something like that does happen, whenever a crash does happen, there could be a zillion different variables into why it happened. So like, okay, well, this match crashed, but which means you can't use this person on this arena and do this move. They're saying it's hard to track what specific things it makes that happen because it could be a lot of things, and then they're gonna have to fix every single one of those different variables. Mm-hmm. And that answer made sense to me, but also at the same time, like every game has an online mode. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Like every game. And it wasn't an issue to this extent anytime before 2K23. So the fact that it's doing that this year is kind of discouraging because, I was hoping that once the new game came out, it'd be a little better. It's still playable. It's just, you kind of run the same risk as you were last year, which is, it's disheartening a little bit, but that was the answer I got. So, I mean, I'm just going to have to take that for what it is.
It was always random. It was always random last year. You would hit it like a finisher and you're about to win the match, and all of a sudden, like your screen would freeze, and then you get kicked out of the lobby, and you have no clue what the hell just happened.
Well, the main thing
two main times as well.
Sure. No, the main thing that happened last year to make that happen was Irish whips. You do an Irish whip, and like there was a 50-50 chance that the game would just crash. And which is the most basic wrestling move in the history of professional wrestling. You can't do it, which is annoying. And I mentioned that as well. I was like, listen, it was like mainly this, and I kind of got the same answer. It was just kind of, well, yeah, you could do Irish whip from this character on this arena, and then it'll do that. Whatever. I don't know. It's annoying. It's very annoying.
Well, so we spoke about like the My Faction, and like I said, this is gonna be one for me that's I'm intrigued with, because now, like we mentioned earlier, that the unlockables that's gonna be available. Mike and I, before before the mics went on, we were discussing the DLCs, in which Mike will go into in a little bit. But there's a gap that's in that area. So before I go into that, Mike, what the DLCs we have like that's gonna be upcoming?
So as far as what 2K's been doing, I love what they've been doing. It's been 5 packs for the last couple of years, and we're gonna go through the dates. But as far as the first pack is called the ECW Punk Pack, which will be released in May, which includes CM Punk, Bubba Ray Dudley, Devon Dudley, Terry Funk, and this name popped out the most to me in this one, the Sandman.
Happy!
Which I didn't. Also, a quick little question too. Like, these guys have to be, like, I at least understand what Terry Funk. He died this past year, and it's a tribute for him. But do you think like the Sandman's like on a Legends deal? Like, he had to sign some type of contract to use his likeness.
100%. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's necessarily a specific WWE thing. I mean, it has to be some.
Because I remember the Dudleys. Yeah, it was reported that they signed a Legends deal, and Bully Ray's doing Impact right now.
So that is a great point. So yeah, WWE and Impact have kind of been working together little by little lately. They're kind of more open to doing stuff with each other. Yeah, Sandman, that's interesting. Maybe I can't imagine Sandman signing a contract, but
it doesn't matter, brother. All it does for me is just make sure I get to party and get more coke. That's all that matters to me, baby. Just bring Hacky more coke, baby.
His entrance better be through the crowd.
The
Yeah,
only
don't
thing
don't
is that
expect
we
Enter
don't.
Sandman. Don't expect that to be in the game.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
nothing,
Unless you play it on Spotify, you're not gonna get into Sandman. But no,
You know
I
what?
thought
I wouldn't be surprised.
I thought it was more shocking that Punk pack was gonna come out this early. That's the one that I said. I said,
I mean,
damn.
Punk was the most requested guy when he
I
came back.
get it, but I thought they were gonna have everybody at their church praying that it came this soon, but apparently it came before they even got to the church.
They were asking God, and God's like, "I got you already."
Yeah, yo, fam, I got you, dog. Don't worry about it. Punk is gonna be
So that was the pack. That's the pack that's coming out May. For June. Post Malone and Friends pack. Post Malone, Sensational Sherry, Headbanger Mosh, Headbanger Thrasher, the Honky Tonk Man, and Jimmy Hart as a manager.
That's a weird pack, but
Just the first name Malone on
but
Post
yeah,
Malone.
it's a weird pack, but I'm okay with because Sherry's there. That's
like that
beautiful
pick.
to acknowledge that.
The
Honky,
Headbangers.
the headbang, everything there is like it's cool. You get Jimmy there as well. Shout out to Jimmy. Jimmy's 80 years old. That man climbs in and out of the ring like if he's still in his 30s and 40s. It's astonishing. But
This is very music. This is a very musical pack. I just noticed.
Oh, I guess, yeah. Yeah, because Sherry sings "Sexy Boy," so
the
yeah,
Headbangers and then the Honky Tonk Man.
yeah. That seems like it's a fun pack. Sometimes people get those lulls. We saw them in previous years where they had those lull DLCs. They were like, okay, I guess, but
Doink the Clown.
The LOL DLC is coming. Well, okay, read the next one. That's my LOL.
Pat McAfee show pack in July. Pat McAfee, and then we have a lot of questions about this. Playable co-host. What in the living fuck does that mean?
I'm pretty sure they mentioned it on Raw. I think it's Pat McAfee's co-host on his show that you get to play as.
Are you serious?
Which is like, who cares?
That's his face.
But I actually thought it was gonna go
another was like Michael
way.
Cole, Corey Graves, Byron Saxton, like those types.
Yeah, I actually thought it was gonna go that way. I actually thought it was gonna be that you'll get those guys. You get Michael Cole with his NCAA Syracuse gimmick look.
Yeah.
You get
old school Corey Graves,
Saxon like that.
I think they would have just announced that if it was going to be them. I think it's literally just his show co-host. I'm pretty sure they confirmed that on Raw too. I think.
Yeah, you're right. That most likely will be the Who Gives a Fuck pack. But since now I have the season pass, I guess I'll be downloading.
I mean, let's be real here. Pat McAfee, what we've seen from him in the ring, what we've said they're going to give him, he's going to be like the best character in the game.
I mean, I don't mind having Pat McAfee in there, but who the hell is going to play his
playable co-host? Now I have to Google people on this show.
I'm just going to be excited to have a Pat McAfee Logan Paul match. I'm cool with that shit.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. I get that.
I'll do that. What's the next one we got?
In August of this year, I was about to say the year, meanwhile, all this shit's coming out this year. In August, the Global Superstars pack. Now, this has the most characters out of every pack this year. Jade Cargill, Nia Jax, Michelle McCool, Carlito, Kairi Sane, Lyra Valkyria, and Dragon Lee. This pack makes the most sense.
Why didn't we just switch that? You could have put that one out before the co-host pack. That would have been. I'd have took the low on a later date.
I'd rather play Carlito first than Pat McAfee.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd rather just not have that DLC at all. But yeah, no, I mean, listen, Jade Cargill, that's going to be fire to play as her. She hasn't even had a match yet, really, besides the Rumble. I'm looking forward to playing as her for sure.
But now, is this where we get the gap? Because I wanted to ask Jarren about this. There's a gap that happens between August
and November.
And November. What's your speculation that's going on there? Why there's such a big gap there?
Which one's the November? Can you read the names on the November one?
The November one is titled the WCW pack, which
is the SummerSlam, the Survivor Series time.
Yeah, this includes DDP, the Iron Sheik, Mr. Perfect, Lex Luger, and I'm looking forward to this one, the Great Muta.
My assumption is that they want to just stretch out the game's life cycle more, and I think the way to do that is by doing DLCs like later on in the year. Because once like July comes and like the last DLC comes out, everyone stops playing the game and no one really has anything to look forward to anymore, and they just stop playing it. And then everything kind of decreases in terms of playtime and people watching content and stuff like that. So I think them prolonging the DLCs till November is going to make the game feel fresh all the time because they're always adding stuff to it. I think I personally like that, but that is a big gap for sure.
Not gonna lie, after they released the Steiners and Hit Row pack, I downloaded it and then waited a month until the next one because I was like, yeah, no, I'm waiting for the next pack.
That's fair.
I'm thinking that this is the time between that gap there, because you have SummerSlam there, you have the other PLEs that's involved there. That this is going to be their time where they're really going to push the My Factions, where there's going to be a lot of content coming out on My Factions. I'm believing that this is going to be them to push out a lot of new gear, new gimmick looks, possibly
I would love it.
entrances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Free updates, I think, has been the benefit for 2K the last couple of years too. Because remember, I think it was 22 where they had the My Rise, like the exclusive characters, like Dominic Dijakovic, like regular Nakamura, because he had the King gimmick in the game, Baron Corbin. Like they had those types of gimmicks. I do think I would like to see like a My Rise update where you can play as like your Cole Quinns or like Justina's, like those types of characters that you've been playing against in the mode be available. And then I want to just bring this up too because, like I said, controversy, because there are two characters that got physically removed from the game but technically are still in the game, is Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon.
Why? Why did they take him out?
Jay, have you been? Yeah.
Jared, did you get to play? Did you get to play as them before they scratched them out?
They weren't in the demo.
No, I never played as either of them. You do play as Brock in the showcase twice,
which is the weird thing.
Yeah,
that he's still playable.
Yeah, it's. I guess it's kind of hard to like take out the stuff that they added to it just like before, which I get, but
my controversial take. I say just you should have kept them in because. Honest to God, when 22 came out, Jay, when we went through the roster list, half the list was the people that got released during the pandemic.
Right.
Like they kept those people in the game because not for nothing in the story mode they were popping up like nothing. They were just like all over the place. Now I understand with the Vince McMahon thing, it's horrible what he's been accused of and what he's going to be going away for, but if the game was about to come out, like it's about the timing too. It just came. Like all the stuff just broke in the new year, and then they announced, "Oh, 2K24 is coming out in 2 months." The developers are probably like, "Oh shit, like, we have to find a way to get rid of this now."
Yeah,
put it behind a wall now because Brock Lesnar is like he's still physically in the game. You just can't unlock him anymore. He's not available.
Well, you could always get him from You could always get him from creations. It's not like you can't get anything else. You get tits there that show fucking.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot. That's weird.
you know, hackers are that's the first thing they're gonna do. They're gonna just put Brock back in the game.
Before I go to the creations, I want to go back to, like I said, my favorite mode. And Jared, I want your thoughts about this. Is the universe mode, and like I said, they're still on the older templates of the universe mode, and they have yet to really change up the whole dynamic of it. Although they've added new cutscenes, new rivalries, enhancements and such like that, but they're still sitting on that same template. Players who are really into it know now on how to change the universe mode up to make it run more fluidly. But it's like, why do we have to do this? Is this a time kind of basing thing that you believe that they're doing, that they're fixing up My Faction to make it a little bit better? They're fixing up the My Rises. So like maybe down the line, maybe next year, My Universe will be the bigger and better mode that people will start going to.
I hope so. I also think maybe they're prioritizing the modes that people might play more or that might profit the company the most. Universe mode's kind of just like there for certain people. And also people use Universe for like different things. Like the way I use universe mode, I haven't even really noticed like there would need to be something fixed, to be honest with you. So it's just people do different things with it. Go ahead, tell me.
No, just because Jay's like looking for big information on the motor, and you just like
no. It's not even big information. It's no. What I'm saying about is that there's certain things like, I just as they do with my GM, like there's something that Universe Mocha can have, like for ratings, star ratings or whatever, or even make it even more open to finally say make my universe an online mode, like make that happen, make that more interactive, have something like that go on. But it's
I guess at the end of the day, that's really the main thing for if you want
probably
2K games is like more online, like to play. Like if you and me want to do universe mode together, we could do it online.
That would be dope. That'd be dope. I'd love that.
And I would love to see that. People online will be able to customize and have their own promotions, have their own shows running, and you could see. You could check in day by day, week by week, of what shows have been, people are doing, and having more open, playable kind of fed going on online. It's that's what I said. If we go back to what I mentioned earlier, got to get the servers up and running to make it, to make it run solidly. Speaking of that, I've already been seeing that there's people are already exposing the glitches. I know they released the day one patch, a lot of stuff that they tried to tweak early on. Anybody seen any big glitch issues? The only one that I saw that made me laugh was that during the ambulance match that the ambulance actually went into the ramp. Like
was that a women's match that happened in?
I believe so.
I think I saw that clip. Yeah, that's honestly the only one I've seen.
Shout out to New Legacy Inc. because they're the one that find the glitches the most.
Bro, it's crazy.
Yeah.
No, I can't believe. No, Johnny's the GOAT, bro. Johnny's awesome.
Yeah, I know he did like the Elimination Chamber simulation. Like he did some of the matches over there, and Damian Priest is like stuck in the entrance ramp, like looking like a horse. His like body's like all just morphed and everything. And then it's just like it comes with. It's always so funny with the glitches.
I never really experienced bad glitches. I don't remember having those issues. Maybe
the game developers apparently love it when you find the glitches because then they're like that's new.
Yeah, but I've never really found the only glitch that I really had is that when the game drops out on me and that's it. And it says the whole report an issue kind of thing. That's the only real issue that I guess. Other than that, I never really get to see somebody disappearing from a match or.
I saw a clip of Jimmy Uso on the announce table flying up in the air.
Sometimes, like last year, I used to see stuff like maybe you start running and you never stop running, like you just keep doing.
You run into the wall.
Yeah, and like somebody's got to like break that up, or maybe like somebody's like stuck inside the elimination chamber like this, and like they're walking across the wall like that.
I feel like the mechanic where you're throwing the weapons at the opponent, that's going to be a major glitch because you got to throw like a Slim Jim, somebody's head's going to get stuck in their head for the rest of the match.
Oh, I can't wait for that to happen. That'd be awesome. Slim Jim in the head, hell yeah.
Finally, Jarren, I want your thoughts on how are you a big creator? Or do you do a lot of creations and stuff like that?
For characters, no, I do. I mean, I do make the stuff that I use myself. I don't really like try to post stuff for other people or try to make like recreate characters. But like for like the guy that I'm using in my Rise, like I went through the whole like creation tree stuff.
Did you see? Were you able to put together the signs and all that? I thought that was actually pretty cool that you could create a sign this year.
That is very cool. I actually saw somebody else do that the other day. I didn't do it myself, but I saw you could put your own logo on it. You can choose like what pattern you want to be in the background. You could do like a transparent logo on it. They, again, like another new feature. I appreciate that. I haven't used it yet. Maybe that's like foul of me to like be like, hey, cool new stuff, and then never use it. But no, it's definitely cool, and it's something that people are probably gonna go crazy with in community creation. They're probably gonna write some crazy stuff. It's gonna be interesting to watch.
How's the guest referee going?
Oh, I love guest referee. I think the only thing the complaint about that I have is that you can't do it outside of a one-on-one match. It's only in a one-on-one.
Right.
But it's fun. I think it's more fun to do it online. I feel like doing it in an exhibition match against like computers is like, okay, well, whatever. But like, because like, okay,
you just wait for them to do whatever the fuck they're gonna do.
Right, exactly. But online, you get to actually like mess with people, or like even if you play with friends, you get to mess with them. It's cool when you do it with another human being. That's always kind of been the case for special guest referee. But yeah, I do wish it was in more modes, but the freedom you get, because you can even turn the meter off, because they have a meter to, if you abuse your power too much, you get ejected. You can turn it off.
Right.
So that's refreshing to see. That's honestly been probably my favorite mode in a 2K game in a while. I'm glad they brought that back.
I want to bring up, because the big selling mode for this, I think this is probably the last thing we'll cover, is the 40 years of WrestleMania mode. As far as like the matches, I think this year they did a pretty good job, because when they announced this, I immediately remembered when they did, I think it was 2K14 when they did 30 years.
Yep.
And there was pretty much a match from every WrestleMania. This year they decided to cut some matches. Is there any matches that you noticed that you wished you could have play as? And then also we'll talk about the matches itself, but like any matches you think got cut that you think they should have added.
I think regardless of how boring it was, WrestleMania 1, something from WrestleMania 1 should have been in there. 100%. I think it's ridiculous that you during a 40 years one, you don't do the first Mania.
They have Muhammad Ali in the game, and they don't have the tag match. Well, I guess because you said the special referee, you can't do tags.
Yeah. I mean, they have. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, because I'm the other one I'm thinking in the showcase. It's a one-on-one match. That should have been in there. Something for Mania 1. Michaels Austin for Mania 14 is not in there. I guess maybe the Mike Tyson thing. He's not using his likeness for the game. I get it.
Or Enforcer.
Yeah,
2K14.
Yeah. Rock Hogan's not in it, which is interesting to me. I think that is something that should have maybe been in there. I mean, out of any Hogan match, I think that one's probably the coolest one, or something that we haven't seen too much of, in the games. Cena Rock for Mania 28 is not in there. I think that's insane. And the same thing with Triple H and The Undertaker and Hell in a Cell from that same Mania. Don't know how that got omitted, but everything else I think is fitting. Maybe no, because never mind. I was gonna say Kobe Kingston, Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan can't be in there. Yeah, it's kind of, it sucks because there's a lot of people that are doing other things now that can't be in the game when they have like some of the biggest Mania moments ever. But I think they worked with what they had. But those matches I named specifically, I don't know why they weren't in there.
I like the Funhouse one is the most interesting pick that they did.
Yeah, I'm about to get that one. I think I'm 2 matches away from that one in the showcase myself. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to play it.
I will say, I'm sorry, Jay. I just need to say, because the one thing I'll say about the 2K showcase, and I noticed it last year and this year, a lot of cutscenes, and it's not a lot of you just playing them out. Like I don't want to try and spoil it for the Funhouse, but basically, it feels like I'm watching the match on Peacock, where like you just like, where it's like, let me play it out, let me play, like step by step into Irish Whip, and then it goes into a cutscene. That's the annoying part. I would say.
Oh man, let me tell you something. The Hogan Warrior match that you play. They do a cutscene. They do a cutscene where it's like a 5-minute double down spot, and then and then I think when that cutscene ends, they make you do 1 Irish Whip. That's it, and then there's another cutscene of like a 6-minute bear hug. That Warriors. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that. I freaked out. I did it this morning. Oh, I was on the floor, brother. I can't. That's what got to me. Everything else has been okay, but sometimes they'll make you do 1 move and then you go right into another cutscene. That's kind of annoying.
But I kind of like, before we start closing out, I like the little subtle things that they do, especially like when I mentioned like the creative stuff. There's certain subtle things that like we mentioned. There's certain people that shouldn't be in the game, but they can be created in there in the game. Like I saw that the cleaners entrance is in the game. They had Kenny Omega's entrance in the game.
Jacob Fatu's entrance is in the game.
Fatu's entrance in the game. So it's like little things in there, maybe little breadcrumbs, little something that's there. I like when they do that. And I get it. I get excited because sometimes I'll go in the create mode and I'll go through those entrances or their signatures and stuff like that. And I go, how did you get that in there? Interesting.
I think the Rainmaker is called like the 7-star Lariat or something like that.
Yes, it is.
Right. Yeah.
Hi, Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. But
and the Jacob Fatu one, it's labeled under Samoan Werewolf.
Samoan Werewolf.
Yeah,
interesting. Okay.
But Jared, thanks for your time, man. As always, man. And we got to get you back in, but not to talk 2K. We're gonna talk wrestling with you when you come back next time, man.
I'm absolutely down. I'm absolutely down.
Yeah, let everybody know they can get you and where we can follow you at, brother.
Listen, the only thing I'm gonna shout out, we're gonna get to 50,000 subscribers on the Small Afro channel very soon. So stay tuned, subscribe to that channel, and you're not gonna miss out on the goodness I'm about to give to you. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks a lot, bro. And man, as always, guys, Turbo Tabloid, as Jared he likes it's New York's purest wrestling podcast. As he likes. I'm glad somebody mentioned that tagline. And as always, much to come, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. Got much to talk about. See you guys in a second. Thanks again, sir, for your time, man. That was great. Absolutely. And like I said, we do got to get you in just to talk wrestling, bro.
I'm so down. I'm so down. Just hit me up, all right? This was fun, boys.
Right,
I appreciate it.
Awesome. Talk to you soon, man.
Yes, sir.
2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.